So I had been diagnosed with a brain tumor in 2009, and I had a resection, so brain surgery to remove the tumor, and I had a reoccurrence in 2021, and I didn't obviously know that the tumor came back until that day in 2021 where I had a grand mal seizure when I was out to lunch by myself, and it was a very scary moment. And the doctor told me that the tumor was back, and I had two options. I could have surgery or I could start chemotherapy. And the option for surgery was not an attractive option because if they couldn't remove the tumor and compromise my speech and language, which that's where the brain tumor is located, over those speech and language centers, they would just close me up and send me home. And so I opted to do chemotherapy, and I really did the chemotherapy because I was terrified of having another seizure. Grand mal seizure is the scariest moment of my life, and where I had lost my light, like the darkness I felt like had just taken over. And yeah, so I decided to do the chemotherapy, and I was a little unsure of that option because I has never been a person that thought I would be someone that would take chemotherapy. Like, I'm a healthy person. I believe in natural healing. So the fear is what gripped me and what drove that decision. And my sister told me about biophotons and how miraculously it's healed people that she knew, and she was a big believer in it. So I went ahead and decided to give it a try. So that's the backstory, my health journey, and where I'm at. I had no expectations because I really didn't know what it was, and it seemed interesting. I was very intrigued, and so yeah, I suppose I had hope that it would do something. So hope, and but really no expectations because I didn't know really what it was, so I didn't know what to expect. The tumor was really big back in August of 2021, before I started taking the chemotherapy. The tumor was big. It was significant. You can see it on the MRI images. And the plan is to do another scan once I had completed the chemotherapy treatments. So I quit doing the chemotherapy treatments, and so my scan was scheduled for July. I quit in April, and so so I started the biophoton sessions, and there was a little bit of overlap from when I was doing the chemotherapy and working towards detoxing out the chemo from my body. And my MRI then was scheduled for July of 2022. And it's interesting because the doctors told me I wanted to quit early, and I had shared that with my oncologist, and he said, you're going to undo all the work that it's done. You have to do it a year. And I knew my body, it wasn't tolerating it, and it was all out rejecting it. So I knew my body wasn't up for the task, and something had to change. And so I quit early and decided to go down the biophoton route and started those treatments. And in July, I did my next MRI scan, and the tumor, it was gone. And in the words of my neurosurgeon, he's like, it like melted away. The tumor just like disappeared. And it's interesting because they told me that after you quit doing chemotherapy, that's when that's pretty much the same month it quits reducing the size of the tumor. So I had another scan scheduled in December of 2022, and in that scan the tumor had shrunk even further. And so the doctors are like befuddled, like, what is happening here? The tumor's going away even more. So then the scan in July showed, and
you weren't on any medication.
I was on no medication, and I was doing the biophoton treatments still. And Elizabeth had started focusing on the scar tissue that was in my brain from my first surgery. And the comment from my neurosurgeon on my December scan was even the scar tissue is disappearing. So they were just completely like, not sure what's happening with you. And I didn't share with them, what I was doing on my own to help heal this. I didn't share the biophotons, and frankly, I don't think they would have been interested in that. I guess the biggest improvement is the tumor's gone. Mm-hmm. And so that was the goal, and that was the focus on the biophotons, and a sense of also like overall well-being and health. Well, I do want to say that it has, because I was telling you earlier, like it's holding me accountable to my health. No one else on this planet is responsible for my health but me. And so having these biophotons appointments scheduled keeps it in the back of my mind that what my health goals are and what I need to do to achieve those. So it's an accountability system. What surprised me, what I love the most about biophotons is I would go in, and Elizabeth would ask me questions like, are you taking like a new probiotic, maybe a low quality probiotic? And I would think about it, and I said, oh no. And then it would dawn on me, oh my gosh, I was drinking these probiotic sodas all weekend. And so, just realizing that, things that are touted as being healthy in the marketing isn't necessarily healthy for my body. And drinking a soda that has probiotics in it, if you think about it, it makes sense that, that's not healthy for my body. So, there would be a lot of those moments where it would just be brought to my attention that your body's not liking something. And then Elizabeth would ask me a question about maybe what it could be the cause, and then it would dawn on me what I was doing, and then I could make those changes. And it's great. That's, I think, probably one of the best parts about it. The treatment is, Elizabeth does her thing and does the points, and you can tell she's taking the information and asking you questions at the same time. And it's a cooperative, I feel like a cooperative process, whereas instead someone's doing something to me, it's like we're doing it together. So I love that piece. I'm involved in my health, and like I said earlier, the only person really responsible for my health is me. So it just seems like it's the absolute best option I could have ever taken to do it. Just do it, because there's everything to gain, I believe. So working with Elizabeth has influenced my health journey. I can't even tell you how important these treatments have been to me and to my health. Elizabeth believed in my health and healing for myself more than I did. I was at a point when I started seeing her where I had no hope in my own health, and I was very apathetic about life. And frankly, I was ready to just turn in the towel. But Elizabeth believed in my healing so much. She believed enough for the both of us. And that's so rare. I've never experienced that. And, and she was so persistent in making, a difference in my health. And so that was just absolutely incredible. And it was inspiring because I didn't believe in my health. And through this journey, I came out on the backside of it believing that I'm someone that is healthy, and I am someone that I am worthy of being a healthy person, and I can take on that identity rather than being a sick person or somebody that has health issues. And I've kind of had that my whole life. So it was a whole shift in mindset.